Oh, Mr. McIntyre was telling us the Starling triplets or they're in the hospital, and they'll be recovering for months. They'll be recovering for months, which puts them out of the race permanently, I fear. It was the man in black, Dan said. He set that trap for us. Mr. McIntyre's eye twitched. Eye twitching's a weird thing to do. Remember, Irina Spassky, her eyes twitch. She has a twitchy eye. His eye twitched. What does he have to do? When they talk about the man in black setting that, why would that make him nervous?
Is he the man in black?
Remember at the beginning of the book what happened after Grace Cahill died?
The man in black showed up.
And talked to Mr. McIntyre. Like,
maybe that's his brother.
Who knows? Yo.
They're related, I think, because why would he follow them to that town, to that city? So he's concerned about that.
Right. Well, way back when Grace and them talked, like way back, I'm going to go back into time real quick. At the end of the first chapter, he said, "It's time," William said. "Make sure they suspect nothing." That's what Mr. McIntyre said to the man in black. And he said, "Don't worry, they won't have a clue." But they do have a clue because they took one. All right. Mr. McIntyre's eye twitched. He took off his spectacles and polished them with his tie, his nose casting a shadow across the side of his face. This explosion, from your description, I'd say it was a sonic detonator. Very sophisticated, designed to stun and only to cause localized damage. Someone knew what they were doing. How do you know so much about explosives? Dan asked. The old man focused on him, and Dan got the sudden feeling he hadn't always been a lawyer. He'd seen things in his life, dangerous things. Dan, you must be careful. Hey, he didn't answer the question. Dan, you must be careful. This explosion was almost the end of the race for you. I had hoped to stay out of the competition. I must not be seen as partial to any one team. But when your grandmother's mansion burned down, well, I realized just how much of a predicament I put you in. That's why you sent us the Black Light Reader? Mr. McIntyre nodded. I'm concerned by how much the other teams are targeting you. They seem determined to put you out of commission. But they failed, Dan said. We got the second clue. Nobody else has it, right? Dan, what you found is merely a lead to the second clue. Make no mistake, it's a good lead, and I'm glad this Black Light Reader is useful. But it is by no means the only lead. Other teams may find different paths towards the next clue. Or if they believe you have useful information, they can simply follow you as the Starlings tried to do and take the information from you. Dan felt like kicking the wall. Every time they got a break, something bad happened. Or it turned out they weren't nearly as close to the next clue as he thought. So how do we know when we find the actual second clue? Is it going to have a big sign on it that says second clue? You will know, Mr. McIntyre said. It'll be more substantial, an essential piece of the puzzle. Great, Dan grumbled. That clears it up. What if Nellie's right? Amy's voice quavered. What if this is too dangerous for a couple of kids? Don't say that, Dan cried. Amy turned to him. Her eyes reminded him of broken glass. Ooh, good simile. The eyes reminded him of broken glass.
Oh, yeah.
So that means, like, if you think of broken glass, what it would look like, what's she doing?
Like crying.
She's starting to cry.
Like they do in cartoons.
They had that shimmering kind of fragile look. Dan, we almost died. The Starlings are in the hospital, and it's only the second day of the contest. How can we keep up like this? His throat felt dry. Amy had a point. Could they just walk away? He imagined going to Beatrice and apologizing. He could reclaim his collection, go back to school, and have a normal life where people weren't trying to trap him in fires or blow him up every few hours. Mr. McIntyre must have seen what he was thinking because the old man's face paled. Children, no, you mustn't consider it. We're just kids, Amy stammered. You can't expect us. My dear, it's too late. For a moment, Mr. McIntyre sounded really panicked, terrified they'd back out. Dan didn't understand why. Then the old man took a deep breath. He seemed to collect his nerves. Children, you can't go back. Your Aunt Beatrice was furious when you disappeared. She's talking about hiring a detective to find you. Yeah.
I'm curious what would happen if they do any more more of this thing and just go back to the normal life. But remember, Dan, I remember they said that there's no way back now. So I don't know what's gonna happen if they do.
Right.
Here's what would.
I'm curious what would too. I don't know. She doesn't even care about us, Dan said. Be that as it may, if she officially turns you over to social services, or if she officially turns you over to social services, she will get in legal trouble if anything happens to you. If you return to Boston, you'll be sent to foster homes. The two of you may not even be put together. There's no returning to your old life now. Yeah.
They still gotta remember that.
Jackson, I don't know what you're doing, but I need you to not play with your water bottle. Sorry, go ahead, Noah.
They have to still remember that Millie, she's just listening to songs and they don't get back.
Yeah, they're running out of time. Good point. They are running out of time.
They gotta remember that.
They do. Couldn't you help us? I asked. I mean, you are a lawyer. I'm helping too much already. Occasional information is all I can give. Dan's ears pricked up. Information like what? Mr. McIntyre lowered his voice. One of your competitors, Jonah Wizard, is preparing for an overseas journey. He's the cool dude, whatever. I fear you will run into him quite soon. He and his father made first-class reservations in New York this morning. Guys, I'm stopping every paragraph for raised hand. We're not going to get very far if we make every comment. Where are they going? Dan asked. If you think about the information you found, I think you'll know. Yes, Amy said, I do. And we're going to get there first. Dan didn't know what she was talking about, but he was glad to see her looking angry again. It's no fun giving Amy a hard time when she was crying. Mr. McIntyre breathed a sigh of relief. So you'll carry on. You won't give up? Amy looked at Dan and they came to silent agreement. We'll keep going for now, Amy said. But Mr. McIntyre, why are you really helping us? You're not helping any of the other teams, are you? The old lawyer hesitated. In the Franklin Institute, you said you warned the Starlings that they were in danger? Of course we did, Amy said. They wouldn't have done the same for you. Maybe, but it seemed like the right thing. Interesting. He glanced toward the street. I can say no more. I must... Please, Amy said, one more favor. She uncovered Saladin's cat carrier, and suddenly Dan realized why she'd brought it. Amy, no! Dan, we have to. It isn't safe for him. He was about to argue, but something stopped him. He thought about dragging the poor cat up the air vent in the fire, then about making him sit still through the train ride in a stuffed cat carrier. What if Saladin had been in the museum explosion with them? If the little dude got hurt, Dan could never forgive himself. All right, he sighed. Is that Madame Grace's cat? Mr. McIntyre scowled. How did you... He escaped the fire with us, Amy said. We were hoping to keep him, but we can't where we're going. It wouldn't be fair to drag him along. Could you keep him for us? Brrr. Saladin gave Dan a look like, you can't be serious. Mr. McIntyre had pretty much the same expression. I don't know, my dear. I am not, well, an animal person. I had a dog once, Oliver, but... I was thinking that. Please, Amy said. He was her grandmother's. I need to know he's safe. The old lawyer looked like he wanted to run, but he took a deep breath. Very well, for a little while. Thank you. Amy handed him the carrier. He only eats fresh fish. Red snapper is his favorite. Mr. McIntyre blinked. Red snapper? Well, I'll see what I can do. Brrr, Saladin said, which probably meant something like, I can't believe you're leaving me with an old guy who doesn't know I like red snapper. Children, you should go, Mr. McIntyre said. Your babysitter is getting impatient. I guess we won't be able to get all the information on this one. I thought we'd get just a little bit farther, but we didn't. So that's okay.